my dad and I had this interaction when the Green Bay Packers were playing the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl in '98. And this was the year that Volkswagen brought its new ads into the American marketplace. And they were targeting the next generation. They were targeting my generation. And some of you will remember that ad. It was like two guys were sitting in a car, and there was no dialogue happening. It was just ba-ba-ba-ba. Remember that song, right? And then the next thing you saw was they drove up, and there was this ugly green recliner on somebody's front lawn. It was, yeah, you're following. Clearly, like the Goodwill truck was supposed to come and get it, right? What do these two guys do? They put it into their hatchback of their car, and they drive off, right? Ba-ba-ba-ba. The next thing you hear, or you don't hear it, you see it, they turn to each other, and they kind of simultaneously sniff the air in the car. The next frame, they have put that ugly green recliner on some other sorry sucker's front lawn. You know, in Madison, college town, right? That's called the curb drop. It happens on August 14th before all the leases leave out, right? All of a sudden, there's crap on your front lawn. It's not yours, right? Some college student has dropped it there. So, bam, the ugly green recliner, and they drive off. And the last frame is the VW logo, and it says drivers wanted. Now, my dad and I go into the kitchen to get another Miller, you know, during the break. And my dad is 2 generations older than me. He passed away a couple years ago, right? He'd be 82 years old if he were alive today. World War II generation. This is a man whose work ethic is head down, butt up, right? Square corners on the bed, you shine your shoes, very command and control mindset. That's how he ran his shift at the West Bank Company. Now, he's got a daughter 2 generations younger than him. We go in the kitchen to get new Miller, and I'm doing ba-ba-ba-ba. And my dad turns to me and he says, seriously, this is, you know, you recognize the intonation. He says, "Crepes, Rebecca! What was that ad even about anyways?" And I said, that was an ad for Volkswagen. And I could tell he would, it wasn't quite connecting, and I said, the car company. And he said, "Oh my God, I thought that ad was about a recliner." That's, you know what, that interaction with my dad is actually the reason I started my company. Just to put it in perspective, I was a honked off Gen Xer. I had had 5 jobs in 4 years, and I always pointed at my bosses with hate. Like, those dorks don't know what they're doing, right? If those silly baby boomer bosses just knew more about how to engage me, and it was always very inhuman, frankly. But when I had this interaction with my dad in the kitchen, whom I adored, all of a sudden, like, the light bulb went off over my head, and I realized, oh my God, my dad is them, right? And thankfully, what it did was it humanized all of these baby boomer bosses that I had always just thought were, you know, clueless, not so smart people. And I thought, oh my God, my dad does not have an ill-intended bone in his body. He would, you know, given a little more insight, he could never really think this ad was about a recliner. All he needs is a little coaching, right? So when I started my company and I threw myself into that mix, I thought, maybe if we just had a language for us to talk about what it is that all generations want from the workplace, things could be better. So when I say that young professionals choose differently, I hope that you can greet these next few slides with the same humanity with which I finally saw my dad and every other baby boomer boss. My dad's way of working, head down, butt up, don't ask questions, it's not better or worse. It's just different.